And hey there, it's me Mudlink and welcome to a brand new Let's Play. Today we're going to be starting The Great Ace Attorney Adventures. I'm not used to that subtitle, even though the original game is called, The Adventures of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Whatever. These two games are... Well, the two games in the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles are two of my favorite Ace Attorney games, bar none. It's no fucking contest, honestly. Like, sure, you have your Miles Edgeworth investigations too. You might have your trials and tribulations, but this game just towers over the both of them. If you guys remember my case ranking tier list that I showed off briefly in an update video, in one of my update videos, well, you'll know the cases in these two games are ranked at pretty much the highest, with a few exceptions. The first game is pretty damn good. It helps with introducing this brand new world. Shows off all the mysteries that are going to be unfurling, and even, leave some background details to be solved for the next game. So this is going to be a very fun Let's Play for me. I love this game so fucking much. I love the music so fucking much, and you know what? Let's just stop at the preamble. Let's just get on with it.
「歴史的な開国から数十年、文明開化の大号令のもと、極東の島国にまさに今西洋文化の大波が押し寄せていた。活気に満ち溢れる帝都の民は変化、革新の熱気にむせ返り、その変化に戸惑う者も飲み込んで、時代は大きなうねりの中にあった。そして今、そんな時代を舞台に一つの物語が幕を開く。
The 22nd of November, 8:43 a.m. Supreme Court of Judicature, Defendants Antechamber 5. See, I'm playing with Japanese voices, and also I decided to change the output, the audio output, so that you can hear my voice, a little bit better, or a lot better, probably. Let's get started with this. I still can't believe it. I still can't believe this is happening. How could it be that just beyond the doors to this quiet little chamber is the highest court in Japan, waiting to decide my fate? What? Oh, no, nothing. Savior glares. Murderer. Yeah, we've got accused of murder right away. Definitely quite the departure compared to all the other Ace Attorney games. In fact, there's only ever one time I believe that Phoenix was ever accused of murder, but that was not even a beginning part of it. It's usually Maya. Sorry. My name is Ryunosuke Naruhodo. I'm a second-year student at the Imperial Yume University. 3 days ago, I somehow found myself in the middle of a horrifying incident, and now here I am, awaiting my trial. That's enough. He's not obliged to listen to such abuse, officer. And who are you? I'm this man's lawyer. I'll be defending him today. Lawyer? Yes, and until the judge has given his verdict on the case, no one has the right to treat him as a criminal. So you will hold your tongue. Technicalities. Look at you, you haven't even graduated yet. And yet I still seem to know better than you how a court officer should behave. Right, Ryunosuke? Oh, yes, of course. Sorry. What are you apologizing to me for? Oh, No, I suppose that wasn't my fault. But really, Kazuma, I never meant to drag you into this. I'm sorry. There you go again, apologizing. Just like always. Though I must say, you've been all over the newspapers these past few days. Yume University professor murdered in cold blood by student. But obviously, you didn't actually do it, did you? Of course not. You have to believe me, I didn't do it. I could never murder someone. Then there's nothing to worry about. Straighten yourself up. Hold your head high. You mean? I believe you. I know you're innocent, Ryunosuke. I think that should be a good enough voice for Asogi. Kazuma Asogi, my best friend. Also in his second year at Yume University. But he's far more clever than I. A star student, in fact. He's even a qualified lawyer. Impressive considering he's still an undergraduate. It's not that impressive. Yeah, you might. It's a funny little thing. It might seem like Ryunosuke is just like thinking in his head, but sometimes he's just talking, or it looks like he's saying something. Ah, for fuck's sake! I just started recording this goddamn phone call. Fucking phone calls, man. God damn it. Very concept of lawyers is only a few years old. Here in Japan, anyway. My qualifications don't mean much yet. You said exactly the same thing 3 days ago. But I'm proud to have a friend like you, Kazuma. Surely. 3 days ago. Yes, that's when all this started. Sorry, I just finished eating something. Congratulations, Kazuma. Looks like you're gonna get to study abroad at last. I know, I've been forever dreaming of this day. Finally, those government elites have acknowledged my academic achievements and successes in court. So you'll be representing Japan as you immerse yourself in the most sophisticated legal system in the world. I'm really happy for you and proud, as your friend. There's not a soul in the university who doesn't know Kazuma's name. He's a living legend. It's like there's some mysterious aura billowing around his temple. I want to bring about change in our own legal system. That's why I have to cross the ocean, to see the real thing with my own eyes. The heart of the British Empire. Wish I could see it too. Then come with me. We'd have a wild time tearing up the streets of Her Majesty's City of London together. If only it were that simple. Oh dear, look at the time. I better be going. Alright, I'll see you later. I think I'll stay and enjoy this place a while longer. Good idea. After all, it's not every day you get to visit a high-class Western restaurant like this. See you in English class tomorrow then, partner. It was straight after that. That's when it happened. Asogi, may I have a word? Professor, I didn't know you were coming. Well, this case has personal significance to me, but never mind that for now. Asogi, you should go immediately to the judge's chambers. To His Excellency's chambers? Why? He was looking for you before. You advocating for the defense in this trial was a sudden decision. Seems there may be some confusion about procedures today as a result. Who is this man? Feel as though I've seen him at university before. I see. I'll go at once then. I shall accompany you. Alright then, Ryunosuke. I'll see you in the courtroom. Yes, thanks, Kazuma. Oh, this is awkward. If I may. Yes, sorry? You must be the defendant, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, I believe. Yes, that's right. My name is Yujin Mikotoba. I'm a professor of forensic medicine at Yume University. Ah, Professor Mikotoba. I've heard the name from Kazuma before. As I recall, he's been pushing to get the government to agree to Kazuma studying abroad. Sogi has told me about you. You and he are best friends, I understand. As such, I feel you should know. Know what? Well, as you've no doubt heard, Sogi has been granted permission to go and study in Great Britain. However, if he should fail to defend you in today's trial, I'm afraid that permission will be revoked and never granted again. What? Ah, as I suspected, you were unaware of this. I had a feeling Sogi may have chosen not to tell you. He's agreed to defend me, knowing that if he fails, his dreams will be shattered? But I don't understand. Why would the government do such a thing? It's the government. The administration has to choose from a large number of applicants for overseas study. Very difficult to persuade them to grant permission, even in the most favorable of circumstances. I don't believe it. But I didn't do it, I swear. I'm not a murderer. I'm sure that's true. Nevertheless, I can assure you that proving your innocence would be no easy task. You see, there are certain peculiarities about today's trial. Sorry? What do you mean? You'll soon understand once proceedings get underway. But then what should I do? Well, naturally, I'm not going to suggest doing anything that could lead to a conviction. Right, so as soon as the trial starts, the judge will pose a certain question to the defense. What happens? You must answer before anyone else. You must say, I do. I do? What will the question be? Surely not. Do you accept the accusations brought before you? Of course not. Sorry, click that again by accident. Defendant! Court is about to begin. Proceed to the courtroom at once. Would seem our surreptitious... I don't know how you pronounce that. Surreptitious discussions are to be cut short. The only time I've ever seen that word is in this game. So allow me to summarize. Kazuma Sogi must not be the defense lawyer in this trial. Of course, as the defendant, the final decision is yours. What are you waiting for? Do you want to be found guilty for failing to appear? Get moving. There's no point in anyone advocating for the likes of you anyway. This is it. If the trial goes badly, Kazuma's dreams of studying abroad are over. What's more, I'll be found guilty of murder. And so, with absolutely no idea of what lay ahead, I embarked on that unforgettable trial. My one and only chance of proving my innocence, a trial that would decide my destiny. So, 22nd of November, 9 a.m. Supreme Court of Judicature. I don't know if that's actually how you pronounce it. Courtroom 2. So this is a courtroom. Supreme Court of Judicature. No court in the land has more power. I don't much like the look of those people sitting in the public gallery. Lots of military and other uniforms in there. Powers that be can have demanded that this be a secret trial. A secret trial? A trial that's closed to ordinary members of the public. Only military and government officials may attend. What? But why? It'll become clear in time. But for now, you need to concentrate, Ryunosuke. It's about to begin. The court will now hear the trial of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. The prosecution is ready, Your Excellency. As is the defense. Before we begin, there is one point of order I would like to confirm. Yesterday evening, the defense made a last-minute request for a change of advocate. That's correct, Your Excellency. I made the request myself. Normal procedure is for the defendant's advocacy to be decided 2 days prior to trial. As this is an unusual circumstance, I am obliged to ask for final confirmation now. Who advocates for the defendant in this trial? This is it. This must be the question. Who's going to defend me? That's the question the professor meant. But then, if I say I do... I need to answer quickly. What should I do? Your Excellency, no confirmation is needed. As I'm standing here beside the defendant, I hope it's clear who will advocate for his defense. Hi! I love that. Raise up his fucking hand. Oh, I just hit my fucking mic. What is the meaning of this unruly outburst? I would like to inform the court that I, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, will be defending myself. You'll be... What? What are you playing at, Ryunosuke? Professor Mikotoba told me everything, just now before the trial. He did what? He said that your dreams of studying abroad would be dashed if you were to lose. How sad. Seems you don't have faith in me. You think I won't be able to get you off. Phrasing. Also, no, I'm not gonna make any gay jokes throughout any of these Ace Attorney games. Besides that one. And if there's something that sounds really fucking sus, you know? Just... I'm not gonna really touch that. I mean, it doesn't really matter for this game. It's mainly for the other Ace Attorney games. No, it's not that really. It's just that, well, on the off chance that things don't go well for me, I couldn't bear it to be the reason that you... Yes, I knew that's how you'd feel, which is exactly why I decided not to tell you. Professor Mikotoba shouldn't have stuck his nose in. Very well. The court hereby recognizes the defendant's desire to advocate for himself in today's trial. Well, well, does the accused admit defeat already, renouncing his own counsel? Really? I love the fucking voice acting in this game too. English ones, I don't care too much for. I'll explain more in detail once we get later into this game why I really don't like the English voice acting, but yeah, the Japanese voice acting is fucking perfect. Make no mistake, counsel. This merely shows that the defendant's innocence is so apparent he's confident he can speak for himself. Isn't that so, Naruhodo-san? Oh, yes, exactly. Exactly what I wasn't thinking. I'm not confident at all. In fact, my mind's a complete blank. I realize you're in charge now, but still. Try not to look so bewildered. Well, for a mere university student to be brought before the Supreme Court, you must have perpetrated a most heinous crime indeed. As you are no doubt aware, this is the Supreme Court of Judicature of Japan. Accordingly, the very highest standards of conduct are expected of all present. Do I make myself clear, Defendant Naruhodo? Yes, Your Excellency. It is therefore my duty to assess your competence for the task that you have undertaken. My competence? What does that mean? He's questioning your ability to do the job. Well, he can't be questioning it more than I am. So let's start with the very simplest of questions. Oh, yes. Kindly state before the court the name of the victim in this case. Well, that's easy enough. I've heard his name more times than I'd care to remember. But... wait. Ugh, I'm so nervous I can't even remember that. What was it again? Ryunosuke. Let me guess, your mind's gone blank. You know me so well. All the relevant information for this case can be found in the court record. But I can't even find that. It's simple. You can access the court record with the press of RB. If you ever find you've forgotten something, just consult that. It's all in there. Just the press RB for the court record. Alright, there's no time to lose. You can check the court record. This is a list of evidence you've collected. Now try searching the people instead with RB. You'll find details about the victim in here. When you're done, just press B to go back. So remember, So remember, everything to do with the current case can be found in the court record. Now you better not keep His Excellency waiting any longer. Go on. Now you can check out all this stuff. So we have our pin here. We got the people. So let's go over that. So you got Kazuma Osagiura, 23, second year at the Imperial Yume University. He's my best friend, and despite being a student, a qualified defense lawyer as well. Yuji Mikotoba, 42, medical school professor at the Imperial Yume University. He's an authority in forensic medicine and Kazuma's mentor. Takatsuchi Aochi, 51, the lead prosecutor of this case, who appeared to have little love for the changes the Cultural Reformation has brought about. And the victim, John H. Watson. Also, yes, I'm using a mod. I'm going to link the mod in the description that replaces Watson and Sherlock's name. Because Sherlock does make an appearance, of course. Because I fucking hate the name changes. Also, it affects another character as well, which we'll get into her after. You know, when we see her. The only thing the mod is really weird about is if you go into like certain parts, like you can't view the art anymore with the mod on, which is fine because you can remove the mod pretty easily by just like moving the file. And also, you know, keeping the original file you have to replace. So you don't have to worry too much. Alright. Find the victim in the people section of the oh. Press Y to present. Try now. Hi! The victim's name was Dr. John H. Watson. Well, at least you can remember the name of an esteemed member of your own university. At least you can remember the name. I literally already forgot what voice I gave him, and it's like the fucking simplest voice. Well, at least you can remember the name of an esteemed member of your own university. Yeah, that's a better voice to give. Ouchie. That's a pain voice. I'm pretty much just gonna give. Dr. Watson was a visiting professor from England, invited to Yume University 3 years ago. Indeed, which is the reason why this case has such profound implications. The British Empire is at present our country's most valuable foreign ally, and as most of you will be aware, we've just signed a new treaty together after lengthy negotiations. Can't be anyone who hasn't heard of the Anglo-Japanese Treaty of Friendship and Navigation. Yet despite these delicate circumstances, the blood of an Englishman has been spilled on our soil. The two are both undergraduates at the Imperial Yume University, are you not? Murdering a professor from the very institution that provides your education. Have you no honor? Have you no honor? Yeah. What? I'm literally already forgetting what fucking... Why do I do this? Ugh, but I didn't do it. This case is coming under great scrutiny from our allies on the other side of the world. The court therefore wishes for a speedy resolution to this matter. In other words, our feeble government is scared of upsetting England's policymakers. And you're a convenient and expendable scapegoat to blame for this crime. So that's why this trial has these unusual peculiarities, is it? Exactly. Our government needs to convict someone as quickly as possible. All because the victim was an Englishman. Yes, Dr. Watson was an Englishman. Or Englishman, whatever. I say Englishman, Englishman. I say either one. But nationalities and treaties won't make any difference for me here. The fact is, I was there at the scene of the crime. Oh dear, look at the time. I better be going. Alright, I'll see you later. I think I'll stay and enjoy this place a little longer. Good idea. After all, it's not every day you get to visit a high-class Western restaurant like this. See you in English class tomorrow then, partner. The British Empire. Wow, it's incredible to think. Wait. I've seen that man at university. I'm sure he's a visiting professor from Great Britain. I don't know his name, but still, I should go and say hello. So I went over to the professor's table and introduced myself to Dr. Watson. Now then, let me pose my next question to you, Defendant Naruhodo. Yes, Your Excellency. How did this professor of medicine, Dr. John H. Watson, lose his life? State before the court the cause of death. Cause of death? Well, obviously that was, Ryunosuke. Remember that in court, every assertion must be backed up by evidence. By evidence? But how? Find the piece of evidence that shows the professor's cause of death and select present. Do it now. Hi! Well, according to this document, the victim suffered a hemorrhagic death due to gunshot trauma. Learn to read, you imbecile. That's a post-mortem report, I take it. Sorry, yes, that's right. The post-mortem report. In the West, Dr. DeSec's corpses died. In the West, a doctor dissects corpses to identify the cause of death in an autopsy. But here in Japan, a police officer merely inspects the body and draws conclusions that way. Oh, I see. As long as I'm not going to be tested on any of this later. This is a so-called photographic print of the scene of the crime. You can clearly discern scorch marks around the bullet hole produced by the powder explosion. In other words, we should assume that the victim was shot at close range. Thank you, counsel. The court will accept this modern scientific evidence into the record. So that's a photographic print. Well, that's something I've never seen before. It's clearly superior to a drawing. The detail is incredible. Very well, I am satisfied with your answers. Let us start the trial. Certainly, Your Excellency. So, without further ado, in order to better apprise the court with the facts of the case, the prosecution hereby calls its first witness, who was there at the scene of the crime when it happened. Ugh, this is it then. I think I may have worked out what the professor had in mind. The professor? What, you mean Dr. Mikotoba? Yes, clearly, you're the defense lawyer today, not me. That doesn't mean... Well, I can still act as your assistant. Ah, of course. When he was speaking with me before, he simply said, Kazuma Sogi must not be the defense lawyer in this trial. He really has been sticking his oar in, hasn't he? Maybe, but any help you can give me would be greatly appreciated, Kazuma. Well, my first piece of advice is, rein in that crazy look of bewilderment and control the cold sweats. Only if you rein in that crazy headband and control the cold stares first. Witness, state your name and occupation for the court, please. Of course, my name is Satoru Hosonaga. I'm the head waiter at a Western-style restaurant called La Carnival. Are you alright? You seem to be coughing up some, It is a regular occurrence. It really doesn't bother me. It really should. As everyone knows, the capital's southeastern quarter was developed for foreign visitors some years ago. It's become a very fashionable district now, full of hotels to accommodate overseas guests. This grim crime occurred in one of the district's so-called restaurants, an Occidental eatery, 3 days ago. Understood. Hosonaga-san, you will kindly tell the court everything you can about the incident. At once, sir. And no petty introductions from the aspiring lawyer boy, please. Oh, perspiring maybe, but aspiring? It was just after 2 p.m. on the day in question. We have few diners at that time of day. The lunchtime rush was over, and there were only 3 tables still occupied. That fits in with my memory of it too. There was hardly anyone in the place. It was when I was in the kitchen, putting away crockery and cutlery. A gunshot rang out, so I hurried out to the dining area to see what had happened. Wait, did I really say crockery? Yeah, I did. I was about to say, what? I found the victim, an English gentleman, slumped in his chair, and standing immediately beside him, a gun in hand, was the accused university student. Hold on, let me just clarify something here. Well, I did pick up a gun that I found laying on the floor beside the professor. I didn't shoot him. Get out of here! Ugh, fucking voice. Fits his character, at least. It really does make you go ouchie. My ears. Also, yeah, One thing Ace Attorney loves doing is puns with the names. Like, you know, ouchie. In the West is pain. Like Winston Payne, like Winston Gaspin. Like, it's the pun names are fucking stupid, but I also love them. I believe I asked you to refrain from petty interjections. The court wishes to listen to the witness's report of what he saw, you amateur. But the next time you interrupt at an inappropriate time, you will be penalized, defended Naruhodo. Don't worry, Ryunosuke. You'll have your chance to fight back. For now, we must quietly listen to the witness. Ugh. If I may confirm one point, waiter. Standing beside the victim with a gun in his hand was the same man we see here in court today. Yes, without question. I see. And apart from the accused, was there anyone else standing beside the victim? No. There was no one else around at that table but the deceased Englishman and the university student. Huh? Wait, what did you just say? There was no one else around that table? What's the matter, Ryunosuke? That's just not right. When I went over to Dr. Watson to say hello, there was a woman sitting opposite of him at his table. Really? And that's not something the waiter could have missed. I've been warned about interjection, but still, what should I do? I'll interject just for the fun of it. Just a moment, please. Dr. Watson wasn't alone that day. I'm sure of it. There was a lady sitting with him at the same table. Dear me, what are we going to do with you? Do you blatant disregard for court proceedings? I'm beginning to wonder if you're not a fraud. Could it be that the accused, this mere student, is not a real lawyer after all? But I'm sure of what I saw. Osanaga-san, is there any chance you're mistaken? Perhaps your memory of events is hazy. No. The deceased gentleman came to dine alone. I don't believe it. I actually have a rough plan of the restaurant as it was that day. Please, have a look if you'd like to. Sorry for that. I woke up not too long ago. Let me see. A sketch of the establishment's layout drawn by yourself, I presume. That's right. I'm afraid I used the back of my business card. It was a turbulent situation. However, as you can see, the gentleman in question was seated alone. Well, you're clearly a very conscientious waiter. I'm pretty sure I said pronounce it right. I don't. Sorry. Not the best with words. Thank you, sir. The court will take this plan and add it to the court record as evidence. Oh, well... Is there a problem? Hand the plan to the court officer at once. Of course. Here you are. What was that about? He's been completely calm and collected until now. Something certainly seems to have shaken him. Wait, his business card has been entered into the court record. So, the court has now heard a process of the case. Some of these words I never hear in my life except for in this game, so I don't really know how you pronounce them. So just showing you your kitchen and entrance. Just telling you words there, yeah. Yes, at the moment the gunshot was heard in the restaurant. The only person in close proximity to the victim was the defendant on trial today. It would seem we are looking at a black and white case here. Defendant Naruhodo. Yes, Your Excellency? If you admit your guilt at this stage, the court is willing to look mercifully upon you. In other words, you may have some small reprieve in terms of your inevitable punishment. I call this waiter as an unsworn witness in order to explain the details of the case to the court. But I must warn the defense. If you are determined to pursue matters further in this trial, the prosecution has decisive evidence from sworn witnesses who were present at the scene of the crime. What do you think I should do, Cosma? What do you mean? Well, I'm going to be found guilty one way or another, it seems. Wouldn't it be sensible to plead guilty at this stage and hope for a more lenient sentence? Everyone keeps telling me that this trial is unusual, about these peculiarities. You said it. Professor Mikotoba said it. And so is the judge and the prosecution. I'm scared of what lies ahead if I push this. As I said from the outset, I believe you're innocent. I trust you. And yet, despite knowing that, you're willing now to throw that trust back in my face. Is that it? What? If the accused is in fact innocent, then a defense lawyer is duty-bound to prove that innocence by whatever means necessary. Are you just going to abandon that duty? Or are you going to give up on yourself? The battle hasn't even begun yet, Ryunosuke. The defense pleads not guilty, Your Excellency. We invite the prosecution to stop making empty threats and bring out its witnesses. Then we'll just see how decisive this evidence really is. Indeed. Prosecutor Auchi, please continue with the proceedings. Well, you were warned. The young can be so reckless. You know, many call me a saint, but I could be a devil when I want to be. Ugh. In a few short moments from now, that dumbstruck young mouth of yours will be silenced forever. The prosecution calls its next witnesses. Very well, officer. Bring forth the witnesses at once. Witnesses, kindly state your names and occupations for the court. Yes, sir. The great Nippon Imperial Army Sergeant Iesa Nosa. Reporting for duty, sir. Myself, I find employ as a purveyor of fine articles of antiquity from the efflorescence of our nation, Nippon, and conduct my trade from Rasute, a humble premises in the 2nd District. Kyoryo Korokuta, at your service. An antique dealer and a soldier. What an unusual pairing. Both of these gentlemen were present at the restaurant on the day in question. It must be the diners at the other table that the waiter mentioned. Myself, I habitually take tea of the most exquisite aroma at the establishment in question, always post-noon, and not infrequently converse with interested parties regarding the curios with which I make my business. Sorry. Oh, fucking Christ. I can't understand a word that old man is saying. He's an antique dealer, and it sounds like he's a regular at La Carnival. He seeks out potential customers who may have an interest in antiques and tries to sell his wares to them. He obviously targets La Carnival because it's a high-class restaurant with fucking word diarrhea right there. This is why I don't try to fucking record it when I wake up. He obviously targets La Carnival because it's a high-class restaurant with a rich clientele. Right, I see, although, to be honest, that sergeant looks more like he'd be a seller rather than a buyer. Yeah, you both witnessed the precise moment of this most atrocious incident. Is that correct? Fucking voice. Affirmative. The enemy unit was seen attacking the foreigner in what can only be described as an act of war, sir. It was that black, uniformed rogue infantryman over there who unloaded his firearm, sir. This man's as impossible to understand as the other. But I'm almost sure I heard a strange noise during the last thing he said. So this is decisive evidence the prosecution was threatening. The soldier is claiming that he actually saw the precise moment you shot the victim dead. Yes. Well, he's starting to feel uncomfortable. If I'm honest, I was feeling uncomfortable from the start. Now the court will hear your formal testimony, please. You will state everything you saw, at the precise moment that the incident occurred. Yes, sir. Standing by, ready to report, sir. Unsavory memories of a most acerbic afternoon. What the witnesses saw. I was ingesting a regulation beef steak at the restaurant while having a tactical discussion with the old man. Myself, I was extolling the virtues of a particularly fine golden curio to the military gentleman. At that precise moment, the firearm was discharged. I observed the enemy's actions with my own eyes. The black uniformed varsity cadet fired on the English civilian, and from the back, the cowardly little weasel. I was on my hands and knees, investigating the whereabouts of my mysteriously absconded precious curio. Well, so you, Sergeant Nosa, actually witnessed the vital moment. You saw the split second when the defendant fired the weapon at the victim. Yes, sir. Affirmative, sir. That wicked university cadet, sir. The cruel and unforgivable enemy. What times we live in when an English gentleman may be assailed in the broad light of day. But this is ridiculous. I didn't shoot anyone. Is that really true, Ryunosuke? Yes, all I did was pick up the gun that I saw lying on the floor. After I said hello to Dr. Watson, I went back to my table and sat drinking some coffee. I hit my mic again, for fuck's sake. I'm trying to scratch my fucking nose. Then when I'd finished, I got up from my seat to leave the restaurant. When I noticed an English-made gun next to the chair where the professor was sitting. I thought perhaps the professor had dropped it. So I bent down, and just as I was picking it up, well, if that's the truth, there's obviously a criminal on the scene out somewhere. Somewhere in these two witnesses' testimonies, there's a clue as to who that criminal was. There is? Ryunosuke, you must exercise your right to cross-examine the witnesses. Cross-examine? Do it now. As we have heard, Your Excellency, there is no room for doubt in the testimony of these witnesses. The defendant is clearly guilty. It is time to bring this despicable student to justice. This fucking goddamn mic. Need to fucking get an actual mic soon instead of this fucking stupid headphone mic. An actual good mic, and then soundproof this fucking room. Certainly. The testimony the court has just heard eliminates any vestige of doubt. Therefore, it is my grave duty to declare the verdict of this trial. What in the name of the Emperor is the meaning of this outburst? The defense meant its right to a cross-examination. Dear me. Let me guess. The Hachimaki headband boy next door told me to do it. How pathetic. Huh? How do you know? The prosecution objects. This is a clear waste of time. The defendant obviously has no experience. How can he possibly carry out a cross-examination? The defense is asserting its right to a cross-examination. Whether or not you think he's capable of it is irrelevant. Kazuma's so commanding. Very well. Let the defense conduct a cross-examination of the witnesses. Alright, this is where the battle really begins, Ryunosuke. But I don't even know what I have to do in a cross-examination. Isn't it obvious? You have to expose the lies in the witnesses' statements. How? You didn't fire the gun, which means what that soldier said has to be a lie. Hit them. This mic's pissing me off. Well, yes, but it's just a case of proving it, and the key to doing that is evidence. Right, evidence. All you need to do is present some decisive and indisputable evidence that proves the witness is lying. Now let's go, Ryunosuke. Don't let them beat you. The fucking weak little desk slap. Fucking hilarious. I love that. Alright then. It's all or nothing. Here's the cross-examination. What the witnesses say. So what you can do during these is you can press a statement or you can present evidence on a statement. So I'm gonna also be showing off. Hang on, just for a quick second. Yeah, okay, I'm just checking something anyway. So for this and also for the second game, I'm gonna be doing 100%. So I'm gonna get every single achievement, even though I have almost all of them already. So you're not gonna see them. I mean, they don't really pop up. Like, I mean, whatever. You know what I mean. I already have most of the achievements. I'm gonna be getting 100%. So I'm also gonna be doing the Rants magazine things, or whatever they're called. I haven't even done them yet. Anyway, any case. So what you do for the first one, you can just press any statement that you want, which, by the way, what I'm also going to do, I'm going to press every single statement, just to show you guys all the dialogue as well. Because there can be some really fucking hilarious dialogue from these presses. And also pressing is just a good, like, habit to do. The only times you ever get punished for pressing too often are in, I think it's only like one case in the entire series, and that case fucking sucks. Recipe to Turnabout. It's a dog shit case. Fuck that case. In every single hole imaginable. But yeah, you don't have to worry about getting penalized for pressing. So anyway, let's just press this statement. Why aren't you saying anything? Is this some new interrogation technique? I hadn't actually thought of what I wanted to ask. Just ask about anything that catches your attention. Anything that bothers you. Alright then, this beefsteak you mentioned. What kind of food is that? Tension! Ah! Beefsteak is a delicious cut of veal, Beefsteak is a delicious cut of veal, vigorously cooked on a cast iron grill and served piping hot. Oh. If food could receive medals of honor, beefsteak would be almost as highly decorated as a cutlet. Right, I see. Thank you, sir. So next question. This cutlet you mentioned. What kind of food is that? Tension! Ah! Cutlet is a delicious cut of veal tossed in breadcrumbs and deep fried in cooking oil. Accept your guilty verdict, atone for your crimes, and when you're released from prison, try it! Yes, sir, I will, sir. On the double, sir. Sorry to interrupt, but how about trying to stick with questions that are relevant to the case? Oops, sorry. Oops, sorry, I'll do my best. So, next question. Is it just me, or do you keep hearing a sort of wah crying noise? Negative! Well, at least we learned that he's a big beef lover. Affirmative. I love Cosmo's face. I love Asogi's face there. He's just like, oh, for fuck's sake, what did I get myself into? It's not easy knowing what questions to ask. So, that achievement you get there, Prime Presser. If you just press a statement. There you go. I have no idea what you're talking about. A Koban, boy. A Koban? You mean an Edo coin? The day prior to the incident, a treasure of exceptional value from the Hoei period entered my possession. I took myself to the restaurant the following day, with said item secreted in my bosom pocket, in the hope of an affluent cognizant appraised of its indisputable value being present. So you're hoping to sell your Koban coin to Sergeant Nosa, whom you met at the restaurant? Yes, it's quite clear where you're going with this, boy. You but to assert that a penniless soldier would have no hope of purchasing a precious Koban. Isn't that so? Well... You little upstart cadet! You want to add disrespecting a superior officer to your list of crimes, do you? Blatant subordination! No, I didn't say anything. Although penniless might just be the word I was looking for. In any case, the hour is already advanced beyond that of the midday luncheon. There remain precious few present with whom I could engage in discourse about matters of business. The gentleman beside me, who was grappling with his braised veal at the time, was my sole prospect. I see. Yeah, there you go. Press the third statement now. So, you're saying that you actually saw me at that time? Affirmative, I saw you. Laughing, cackling like a madman as you trained the barrel of your gun on the English civilian. But that's impossible. I only... Allow me to confirm just one point, please. What's that, Private? Thinking carefully about the statement you just made, it seems to me that it must have been just after you heard the gunshot that you looked over to the victim's table. And so what if it was? Well, if that really is the case, it would mean that you didn't in fact see the precise moment when the killer actually fired the gun. And double My sixth sense. Sorry? My sixth sense of danger. I picked up the waves of murderous energy raining from your foul mind. Which means, a split second before you pulled the trigger, I was looking right at you, Cadet. Surely that's not really possible, is it? Do you think I'd have gotten to where I am today in the army if I couldn't sense danger in the air, son? Well, it would seem this soldier is absolutely convinced that he saw you do the deed. This is not good. Hang on a second, I'm gonna get myself some water. I just realized I'm gonna really need water for this. Alright, got myself hydrated, whoopsie. Press this statement. So this black uniform university cadet, you're saying that was... I've had just about enough of your sauce, cadet. Who else do you see around here in black uniform, Well, there's someone standing right next to me who fits the description as well, but... It was you, you little weasel. You unloaded the firearm on that man from behind his back, and you call yourself a citizen of the great empire of Nippon? You disgust me. What is it, Ryunosuke? I'm not quite sure. It's something that the sergeant just said, but I can't quite put my finger on it. Something's playing on my mind. In that case, check back over the details of the evidence you've gathered in the court record. And if you find an inconsistency there with what the witness just said, then don't hold back. Oh my god, I am really sorry. Smells the water. That was fucking disgusting. Present the evidence to the court. Thrust it in the witness's face and make him choke on it. Cause him a framing, Jesus Christ! Your hands and knees. Could you explain the... Oh my god, fucking phrasing! That's just phrasing. That's right, spurning the arthritis. Yeah, that's right, spurning the arthritis. I was in order to retrieve the lost piece. What lost piece are you referring to? The Koban, of course. The exquisite Hoei-era Koban coin. I had just been showing the rare treasure to the military man as he masticated his meal. After averting my eyes for the briefest of moments, it was there no more. It simply vanished. Koban vanished. And I began to acquaint myself with the intricacies of the floor in order to locate it. And then it happened. You heard the gunshot, you mean? None other than. There was no concern of mine. I was frantically scouring the floor for the aforementioned lost treasure. So in fact, you didn't actually witness the precise moment when the incident occurred. Indeed, myself, I did not. I have no idea what I'm supposed to do here. Listen, Ryunosuke. We know there are lies lurking in these statements. It's time to expose them. I understand that. The question is, how? Like I said before, the key to this is using evidence that you've collected. You can examine and present evidence while a witness is giving testimony by pressing RB. Go through each witness statement and the details about each piece of evidence, and compare all the facts. Somewhere in there, you'll find something that doesn't add up. In other words, an inconsistency. An inconsistency. When you find a statement and a piece of evidence that seems to contradict each other, present your evidence with why, and rip the witness apart. Just be careful, because if you assert a contradiction that has no basis, you'll be given a penalty. If you're dealt with too many penalties, the defense's case will fall apart and you'll receive a guilty verdict. So that's it. Peruse the evidence in the court record and find an inconsistency with a witness's statement. Alright, I'll give it a try. You can hear the witness's statements over and over again, as many times as you like. So keep your head and be measured in your attack. Good luck, partner. I love Asoki's animations so much. The right thing you need to do is go to the fourth statement and present the photograph of the victim. And you'll know you got the right one when the music stopped. What are you playing at, cadet? What is the meaning of this subordination? Thrusting some photographic print in my mustache? Inconsistency, sir. I mean, yes. There's a clear inconsistency here. What nonsense. What can this print possibly tell us that we don't already know? Well, obviously. I know what I want to say, but the word just won't come out of my mouth. I think this proves beyond any doubt, Your Excellency, that there is no place for an amateur student here in this grand courtroom. Yeah. This is so frustrating. Oh, please. Surely this doesn't require an explanation. It couldn't be more plain. To spell it out would be an insult to the court. Oh, I get the song. Sorry, I'm gonna have you guys listen to the song for a bit. I fucking love Kazuma's theme so fucking much. Also, I constantly fucking switch back and forth between Kazuma and Asogi. I just do that. I'm sorry. Sometimes I do that. Both names sound fucking awesome. Also, no, hang on. Kazuma, what? What are you talking about? It's apparent from a single glance at this photographic print presented by the defense that there's a clear discrepancy here with the sergeant's statement. What? Sergeant Iesa Nosa. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What, sir? The statement you just made was this. A black uniformed varsity cadet fired on an English civilian, and from the back, the cowardly little weasel. Yes, sir. Affirmative, sir. I witnessed the crime with my own military-grade eyes, sir. But no, that just can't be. And why not, cadet? Because... Take a close look at the print. The victim, Dr. Watson, died from a bullet wound to the chest. Sergeant, according to your witness statement, the culprit shot the victim from behind. And that is the obvious discrepancy here. Well, how do you explain it? What the? What was that? Something just popped up from behind his back, but he pushed it down again. Certainly, there is a clear discrepancy with the facts here. Or would you not agree, Sergeant Nosa? Yes, sir. At this juncture, that would appear to be indisputable. Until the moment I heard the firearm discharge, my eyes were firmly fixed on the delicious La Carnival steak, sir. What? The last testimony the court heard has proved one thing beyond all reasonable doubt. This witness, Sergeant Yasa Nosa, did not see the defendant firing a gun at all. So you get an achievement for presenting on this for presenting evidence and actually like showing a contradiction. Forgot to mention that too. That's absurd. I think the conclusion we must draw is simple. There is no place for an amateur prosecutor here in this grand courtroom. Yeah. God! There's been a complete turnabout in the mood of this child, just from that one discrepancy. So this is what being an ace attorney is all about. Roll credits. Well, no, that doesn't work here. If you say a great ace attorney. But I definitely saw him. The university cadet there. He was pointing the firearm directly at the victim's back. But I never fired the gun. All I did was pick it up off the floor. And you, old man, you didn't see the moment the victim was shot either. Myself, I have already been quite clear. The gunshot interested me not. I was far too busy on the floor. Oh yes, you were looking for your Koban coin, weren't you? Indeed, the prize Hoei era Koban. Hunting around under the table, I was in case mayhap it had fallen there, and then it happened. You heard the gunshot, you mean? Indeed I did, but I heeded it not, for I was concerned only with finding my absconded Hoei treasure. Nothing could distract me. Out of interest, did you find the coin in the end? No. I see. That lamentable day, the precious Hoei Koban was lost to me. No doubt, some unscrupulous scoundrel pocketed the prize coin for himself. As I am sure everyone at present is aware, the case demands swift and decisive resolution. Our government has promised to send a full report to Great Britain by telegraph this very afternoon. Oh, very fucking messed up his goddamn voice. Fucking. Whatever. Nevertheless, the witness testimony the court has just heard was inconclusive. No matter how subservient our government feels it must be to the British, it must be unforgivable to deliver a verdict on this child right now. What is your position, Prosecutor Ouchie? Worry not, Your Excellency. The defendant may have fled a tiger at the front gate, but he will find a wolf in the back. My witnesses have further testimony to make. Explain. Upon hearing their next statements, it will become abundantly clear that there was only one person who could possibly have committed this despicable crime. The equally despicable defendant, Ryunosuke Naruhodo. What? Really seems to have a despicable opinion of you, doesn't he? Ugh. Very well, the court invites the witnesses Very well. The court invites the witnesses to testify again. We will thoroughly explain the reasoning behind the prosecution's allegation. Is that clear? As clear as Kiriko glass, Your Excellency. Yes, sir, at once, sir. Awaiting signal to testify, sir. Excuse me, but there's something or someone peeking out over your shoulder, I think. Affirmative. The newest member of the Nobusa family to rise up to the ranks, sir. Name, Ido. It would seem those straps are a sign of the sergeant being too strapped to afford a nanny. Ido, Tenjin! Father is about to quell the enemy. Watch and learn, my boy. That's so cute. Also, I don't know, sir. I don't know, sir. I fucking love the stupid pun names. It's so fucking cute. I love the animations in this game too. That true culprit. Even if what I saw wasn't the precise moment the firearm was just discharged, it's almost the same thing. Yes, pointing his gun at the foreign man. He was that young lad in black. That much I myself did see. Furthermore, a visual search of my other premises at the time confirmed that we were the only personnel present. Indeed, alone he was, the Englishman, dining all by himself. Therefore, no one other than the black uniformed cadet could have dispatched the Englishman. Over and out. Oh shit, I missed that. Drinking my water. These testimonies are certainly compelling. Wait, that's nonsense. That's nonsense. The victim, Dr. Watson, wasn't alone at all. Please, enough of these outbursts already. But there was a woman. There was a young woman at his table. You must have seen her. Everyone there must have seen her. If you call yourself a lawyer, then you will respect the rules of the court and speak accordingly. We are not here to listen to your fantasies. Ugh. It is evident, beyond all reasonable doubt, that the victim was alone at the time of the incident. The prosecution has photographic evidence of this fact. Is this a photographic print of the scene of the crime, counsel? I think that's a better voice again. Stick with that voice. Guys, I don't really know what kind of voice to give the fucking judge. Indeed, at the table at which the victim was dining, taken by an investigator immediately after the incident, as can plainly be seen, there is only one place set. Certainly, based on the appearance of this print, it would be reasonable to conclude that the victim was not in the company of anyone else. Ah, this doesn't make any sense. The court will add this new photographic evidence to the record. Bottle of carbonated water and steak lunch can be seen on the victim's table. I don't understand. What's going on here? It's just not possible that nobody else saw that woman. The waiter before said the same thing. It maintains that Dr. Watson came to the restaurant alone as well. But that's not true. I saw her. I swear that I saw a woman with him. It would seem that we'll be able to telegraph the report to Great Britain on time after. The witness testimonies we have just heard leave no further room for doubt. These are very sensitive political times, as we all know. The ink is still fresh in the treaty with Great Britain. To think that I, Takatsuchi Aochi, will have contributed to the amity of these two great empires is an honor. How can this be happening? The judge is waiting to rule. Stand tall, Ryunosuke. It's not over yet. What? What you say is true, then there is something going on here behind the scenes. And now is your chance to expose it, to draw out the truth in your cross-examination. I don't know, Kazuma. Defense is entitled to cross-examine the witness, but make it quick, understood? Rules can be so unbending at times. Ugh. Even if what I saw, why am I reading that again? My brain's on the fucking fritz. Need something to wake me up more, I guess. No, it's not the same thing at all. For a start, I didn't fire that gun. We have a difference of opinion on that. The opinion of a uniformed... We have a difference of opinion on that. The opinion of a uniformed officer versus that of a fledgling cadet. I don't think so. Consider this, defendant. Just a moment ago, I blinked. Did you? Did you see it? Did you see me blink? How could I? And yet, it is an undeniable fact that I did blink. So there you have it. Have what? Tension! The sound of the firearm rang in my ears, and the very next moment, I saw you waving the gun at the Englishman. I think that says it all. Don't you? And let us not forget that the antiques dealer witnessed the accused in this most incriminating position as well. Isn't that so, Kodakuda-san? Yes, pointing his gun at the foreign man he was, that young lad. Why am I reading it again? Fucking stupid. Yes, it may be true that I was holding the gun at that point in time. But I've told you already, it's only because I picked it up off the floor. Well, obviously, as the culprit, that's the only way you could explain it away. I just finished drinking my coffee and I was about to leave the restaurant when I noticed a gun on the floor at Dr. Watson's feet, so I picked it up. And I'm just checking something quick. Okay, yeah. Right. And at exactly that moment, bang bang, a gunshot rang in my ears. Full of events beyond our control, life is. Sorry, what do you mean? In your case, you found a pistol on the floor and picked it up, which precipitated this testing predicament. Whereas conversely, I failed to pick up the Koban from the floor and find myself in an equally testing predicament as a result. Anyway, the fact remains. Myself, I did see you. With pistol in hand, standing over the foreigner. Now, this statement is the most... You have to press this third statement. It is the most important thing to do. So, I'm gonna save that for last. So you actually saw that with your own eyes, did you? The victim, Dr. Watson, is dining alone? That I did. Forgive me for the position I place you in. So the testimonies of the old man, the soldier, and the waiter all agree on that point. Isn't that interesting? And let us not forget the incontestable evidence we have to support their statements as well. As can clearly be seen, there's only a single beefsteak on the victim's table, a meal for one. No. Antiques dealer, the sergeant, and the waiter who testified before. It's not impossible that they're all lying. But if so, then why? I'm perfectly honest, I have absolutely no idea. Why aren't you telling the truth? What did you say, cadet? Clearly remember. There was a woman sitting across the table from the professor. Perhaps one of you might not have noticed. But for both of you to have failed to see the professor's dining companion, it's just not possible. Unfortunately for you, Defendant Naruhodo, it's not just a case of those two witnesses alone. Sorry? The waiter, whose testimony the court heard earlier, clearly stated the same thing. He also said that the victim was alone. That's right. Precisely, in other words, you were the sole proponent of this phantom lady. But such a woman were indeed present at the scene. The prosecution demands to see proof. And if no such proof exists, the prosecution demands that no further mention of this phantom woman be made. It is a blatant waste of the court's time. There's nothing I can say to that. Well, 2 extra ones, whatever. What do you think, Ryunosuke? What's the matter? Can't find anything. Can't find a clear discrepancy anywhere. I'm done for. I can't win this trial. No. No. Listen, the first thing to do is to calm down. You can't expect witness statements to be full of holes every time. So just take your time and try to tease more information out of them first. What do you mean? You can choose either press or present against each of the witness statements. If a witness is saying something you're suspicious about, press him on it with LB. With a little luck, you may get more details, which could prove to be crucial. Right, I see. The important point is, there is no sense in holding back. If anything even slightly jars with you, press the witnesses on it and press them hard. Right, got it. I'll press them like blocks of tofu. The professor wasn't alone in the restaurant, so I'm sure of it. And one way or another, this cross-examination is going to prove I'm right. It's time to press them for all they're worth. My fate depends on it. So yeah, this is where you press the third statement. You must have noticed someone else at Dr. Watson's table. There was a lady there. As you have been at pains to point out time and again, I feel I'm growing a callus on my ears. And yet, no one else appears to have caught even a glimpse of this woman. Only there'd been more people dining there at the time. Someone else would have noticed her. Fortunately, it was already past 2 p.m. when it happened. The quiet time between lunch and dinner in any restaurant. I know, of course the place is almost empty. That's what you'd expect. Certainly 2 p.m. is neither here nor there in terms of time to eat. I wonder if there was a reason why the victim was eating at that time of day and why he was alone. Yes, Your Excellency, there was indeed a reason. There was? This was found in the victim's jacket pocket. What is that, Counsel? It's a medical report card, Your Excellency. It would seem that the victim had an appointment at a clinic prior to visiting the restaurant. Harda Clinic. Yes, there would be indeed appear to be an entry for the date in question. 19th of November, noon to past 1 p.m. The very day of the incident. So the victim went for a late lunch following his appointment. The explanation couldn't be more simple. Prosecution felt no need to submit this evidence before, as it really has no bearing on the case. I wonder. What do you think, Ryunosuke? Well, it is hard to see how it could be related, really. Remember, you can request for it to be entered into the court record as evidence if you think it could be useful. Should I ask for Dr. Watson's medical report card to be submitted as evidence or not? Yep, you do. If I may, I'd like to ask for that medical report card to be submitted as evidence, Your Excellency. On what grounds? The court has already heard conclusive witness testimony. Additional evidence would be extraneous. Not to mention that the victim's movements prior to his arrival at the restaurant are of no concern. Whether or not they are of concern is up to us to decide. We have a right to explore all possible avenues. I beg your pardon. You have no authority to refuse a perfectly valid request for the submission of evidence. Very well, the court will grant the defense's request. Youngsters these days are forever asserting their rights. It is a most disturbing trend. Officer, kindly add the victim's medical report card to the court record. There you go, now it's added to the... What we need right now is new clues. We have to explore things from every possible angle, even if they don't seem relevant at first. Right, I hear you. You can aspire to prolong this trial as much as you like, but it's the day after the festival already for you. Or perhaps you'd forgotten, but these witness testimonies leave no room for doubt. Feel free to reiterate for the accused, Korekuda-san. So just get away from this. You have to press, at the end you have to pretty much press every statement. Excellent work, Ryunosuke. We've gleaned some new information now. Well, yes, but I don't feel like it changes much. I can't see that it brings any real discrepancies to light. I wouldn't be so sure. Let me see that medical report card you got before. Oh, you mean this? Yes, this is a brand new piece of evidence. So perhaps we should examine it in a little more detail. How exactly? You'll notice that some pieces of evidence bear a magnifying glass. These are the ones you may examine. Press A and you can take a closer look at the piece in question. Use the right stick to rotate the evidence in all directions and examine it from all angles. By using the left stick, you can move the crosshairs around to hunt for clues that may have been missed before. The crosshairs start to pulsate. Press A to investigate further. So, partner, I think you should take a closer look at this medical report card. See if there isn't anything new to be learned by examining it in more detail. Alright, I'll see what I can do. You need to use the right stick and left stick and A to inspect any areas of the evidence that look suspicious. It also tells you what the words mean, yeah. Name Johnny Schwartz and Harda Clinic. Medical report card required for every visit. It says Harda Clinic on this medical report card. Hate clinics almost as much as I hate hospitals and surgeries. Aren't they all the same? When I was 5, I caught the only cold I've ever had in my life. And I remember, even though I felt awful already, I had to have this hideous injection in my right arm. I'll never forget it. Never in my whole life. Most people would give their right arm to have only one cold in their whole life. Anyway, I don't think this is the clinic where they treat people for illnesses like that. Let's keep looking for clues. We don't want to miss anything. See, if you investigate literally everything about this thing. No, wait, never mind. Looks like this medical report card was first issued some time ago. Probably a record of long-term treatment, that's why. With the family doctor, I imagine. I can't imagine. Going to a doctor, I mean. As long as I'm alive, I'm never consulting one. Well, if you were dead, there'd be no point. So you don't like doctors then? Why would you? They make you drink horrible tasting medicine, they give you painful injections, and then they demand lots of money from you for the privilege. All when you're at your lowest ebb. You sound like a model patient. With a bad case of stubbornness, no less, for which the only cure is a very bitter medicine indeed. So if you explore literally every inch of this thing, you get an achievement, Healthy Curiosity, which actually I don't think I have on this run because I mean I did play through this game when doing oh no, I did it on my own time. Never mind. I did it on my own time to get that achievement. So let me open this up, yeah. Let's have a look. This is some kind of medical history. Ah, and there's an entry for the day the professor was killed. Extraction of molar with topical anesthesia. Extraction of molar? You mean he had a tooth taken out? It would seem so. Just before the incident, he's had a bad tooth removed. Perhaps they used laughing gas. That's the most modern practice in the West for pain relief. Yes, I've heard of this anesthesia. Although it's hard to believe there's anything that can actually stop you from feeling pain. Yeah, there's a cautionary note from the medical practitioner as well. Strictly no food or drink besides water for 3 hours post-procedure until anesthetic effects have passed. Really? Sounds like information worth bearing in mind. This new information, the meaning of that one particular statement totally changes. So I think it's time we listen to the testimony again, don't you? Definitely. You can also keep on exploring your evidence as well, but I say just holding off on it for right now. So it's the fourth statement. But we're gonna end it off here because it's already almost an hour 30 minutes, and I kind of know how exactly I'm gonna pace this out. For right now, this episode's gone on for a bit too long. Sorry for that. These episodes are gonna be like, I'm gonna try to make them shorter than definitely what the Yakuza 0 playthrough was, which I can definitely do. So why are there only on and off for music and all that? Fucking awful settings for this shit. Anyway, I'm gonna be saving the game here. It's already auto-saved, but I mean, I can use like fucking 20 save slots. I'm gonna be using them. So anyway, that's gonna be it for this episode. So yeah, next time on the Great Ace Attorney Adventures, we're gonna be continuing with this first trial, and finally exposing this one contradictory statement that's pretty much been bugging us. So see you guys then. Bye bye.